Hey, and welcome to the No Drinks in the Booth podcast, back with another classic episode. Take two, but we got there in the end. As always, in the booth with me, man of many hats, Pavan Saki.
Yes.
And also Disclosure's long lost brother, Chris Watson. Today, topic is like a group topic for once. We're talking about Calvin Harris and our top 5 tracks of his. We're not going to agree on them, so that should be really, really good. As always, we've got news, we've got reviews. And as always, please subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Like, share with your friends. How's everyone been, Pav?
I mean, first of all, very impressed, mate. Mixed it up on the intro. Man of many hats. I like that. I like that, mate. I've had a good week. Did a couple more gigs. We're recording on Wednesday. This is probably going to go out Thursday if I actually get the edit done. It's my birthday tomorrow, so I'm going to get mega drunk because life. Nothing else. Important news for anybody that knows me. My parents have finally succumbed and I'm now getting a beer tap put in my kitchen.
Mad. I did not know where that was going when you said my parents have finally succumbed. I was like, this is going to be awful, isn't it?
There's this portable beer tap thing you can get. It's like a kitchen top thing. And I've been saying that I want it for ages. Obviously, everyone knows that I love a good pint. And they were like, nah, not happening. And then they were like, well, actually, we don't know what to buy you for your birthday. I was like, well, there's only one thing I want. So, I mean, like, if you want to buy me something, just buy me that. Otherwise, I'm like, not that fussed with anything. Like, don't just buy me something that I don't want. It's like a bit of a waste of money. And my mom was like, oh, send me the link. And I was like, yeah, boy. So there's a bit gas. So come over for a pint, lads. Come to my bar.
Yeah, we're only about 3 hours apart, me and you, Pav, but yeah, I'll just pop round.
I mean, I'm not going to charge you for the pints, mate. Fucking hell.
I'll put an invoice in for petrol. Chris, how about you? How have you been?
Yeah, good. Just enjoying the hermit life of just straight producing, not seeing sunlight, not seeing people. Kind of thinking back to the days actually playing clubs and then like going onto Twitter and seeing that clubs may never open again. And then thinking I may never play clubs again. It's like an endless cycle, really. But,
I'll be honest, Chris.
It's all good.
Chris,
What?
I went from, let's hit the bevies. And you were like, the world is ending. Like, really quickly. That went really down in mood, bro.
That escalated quickly. But that's it. Yeah, just working. As I said, just being a hermit. Just loving life though still, it's different, life's different, but you just got to keep going, haven't you? That's the vibe.
Well, we've got to adapt and retrain, mate.
Oh, let's not get into that right now. Let's not get into that straight away. I'm trying to be positive, at least for the start of the podcast. Wade, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I just realised I forgot to actually introduce myself in the intro.
Oh, well, you can introduce yourself now. It's all right. Everyone knows who you are anyway. Okay.
Yeah, and as always, holding everything together is myself, Wade.
Obviously, not that tightly this week because he forgot his own fucking name, but it's all right.
Well, it was the second time I did the intro because I keep getting it wrong. So, other than that, how have I been? I've had a couple of meetings about gigs, which has been quite productive, good. So there's stuff in the pipeline, doing daytime DJing, which is good, but it's still not nighttime, is it? Which is the news pretty much, which we're going to talk about in a little while. What else have I been? Serato Studio. I've been playing with Serato Studio, which, because obviously putting that degree that I've got to good use that I don't use. So playing around with that, it's very cool.
Is that
I like
music
it
production
very
degree?
much.
Music tech?
Music tech.
Yeah, finally it's used, mate.
Music tech and science, oddly enough. Serato Studio, shout out Serato. It's a really cool piece of software. I've been playing with that. I've been going through the backlog of tracks that I sort of downloaded during our whole lockdown period and just sort of left. I didn't put them in Serato. I just sort of downloaded stuff to make sure I had it. And now I'm having to sort it and put it into the right crates.
Do the same thing.
And make sure it's labelled right. And I've got like 500 tracks. It's taking forever. It's literally taking forever. But that's it. It's not been that manic. There's some big news this week, obviously. So should we get into the news this week?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, go on then. Let's do it.
Okay. As always, We normally do like 4, maybe 5 headlines, which have been dominating sort of the music and DJ world. This week we're not. We've got one big topic for the news, which is the Let Us Dance petition, the 10 p.m. curfew, and what all the MPs keep saying about our industry as well as the rest of the arts and hospitality industry. So before we actually talk about anything, we're going to include a link, which is the Let Us Dance petition. It's hit 100,000, so it should go to the Parliament to be discussed. That's if they do it, but it would also help if everyone listening just signs it, because it doesn't hurt being above 100,000. So we put a link to that in the bio on everything, so please sign it. We'd appreciate it very, very much. Okay, 10 p.m. curfew.
Just a bit wank, isn't it? So actually, the biggest problem with the 10 p.m. curfew is, I say the biggest problem. Let me just drop some facts for the listeners. So, the 10 p.m. curfew. The first one is actually 10 p.m. is neither here nor there for anyone, which doesn't help venues open, because actually 10 p.m. is like, if you want to stop people drinking, close up at 6 p.m. because people finish work at 5, then they're going to go home and shower and get ready. By that time, it's 7, and then you go out and like no one's going out. It's going to take you half an hour, 45 minutes to get somewhere. Like, and then no one wants to stay out for 2 hours to have 4 drinks. Like, there's no point. Like, that's the first one. So either extend it or reduce it. I'm happy either way, but at least do one or the other.
I'd say they shouldn't reduce it. I think the problem with the 10 p.m. curfew, like the blanket 10 p.m. curfew, is pre-COVID-19, we all know that you could go to a bar till midnight, let's say. Okay, so I know some are open later. A bar till midnight, a pub till maybe 11:30, 12, club till 3 or 4. They're all stuttered, so they all shut at different times.
Yeah.
The only thing open is pubs, and every single one shuts at 10. Yeah. Now, it's all good saying to the public, oh, we'll stagger your leaving time, but I don't know about yous, but I would be like, well, why have I got to leave half hour earlier, but he can stay half hour later? You know, people are going to stay till 10. So if they had spoke to anyone in our industry, especially in the pub industry,
that would be too easy though.
They would have advised them against it. I think the 10 p.m. curfew is pointless. They haven't got a clue what they're doing. Chris, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, looking at it from both sides, they're trying to limit the contact time between people, like any way they can reduce people kind of meeting. So on that principle, I can see why they've done the 10 p.m. curfew. But then the problem is you see all these viral videos, and there's several of them. So, and videos don't really lie. And you see these massive queues at 10 p.m. in small and large city town centres, and of like outside off licenses, outside supermarkets at 10 p.m, like students or locals alike just buying more drinks so they can go back to house parties where there's no social distancing, there's no COVID secure. The term is COVID secure they use, isn't it? It's not, houses aren't COVID secure, whereas pubs are.
Or at least closer.
Sanitized.
It's not 100%, but it's like,
yeah.
If you're going to do it, would you rather someone who risks a £10,000 fine doing it, who's obviously going to do it properly, or fucking Gemma and Nancy that live down the road?
Yeah.
Well, I think one of my issues with it is SAGE, which are what the government use for all their scientific advice. They didn't consult them on the 10 p.m. curfew. They just picked it out of thin air and said, that's a good idea. And SAGE were like, that's not a thing. Pointless. Makes no sense. So actually, it makes no sense.
There has been, from the Shadow Secretary from Labour, has actually asked the government and said, oh, why did you guys pick 10 p.m? And they were literally like, we don't know. They're like, if you've got any evidence, like, we'll back it. Because, like, obviously, there's a bit of a weird political front at the moment where all the parties are kind of together but separate. Because obviously everyone's trying to get coronavirus done, and they respect that obviously it's such a sensitive topic that it's not time for.
But it's a massive opportunity for Labour. It's a massive.
But it's not time for politics. It's not time for shitting on people for the sake of it. It's a time for actually, if this law's good, we're going to vote it regardless. No rebellion. But the government literally said, we don't know. They asked them, like, why 10? And they were like, we don't know.
This links in great. So the owner of GAY, Jeremy Joseph, and the NTIA, which is the Nighttime Industries Association, have launched legal action against the government. It was launched Monday, and they gave them until yesterday. So that was.
Sorry, I've just got some breaking news come in. So the Green King, who make Green King IPA, and obviously a massive pub chain, have just closed 79 of their pubs, like right now.
Yeah, 800
people. Not good.
No. Okay, so we'll come on to that in a second. So the NTIA, which is the Nighttime Industries Association, and Jeremy Joseph, who is the owner of GAY in Soho, which is a famous nightclub, have launched legal action against the government. So they had until 4 p.m. Tuesday to respond with why they've chose the 10 p.m. curfew with the evidence. And they said, sorry, can we have a 10-day extension on that? So they're proceeding with legal action against the government, which is fantastic because they should hold them accountable, which I think we all agree on. Speaking of holding people accountable, this links in very, very nicely, is there's been a lot of MPs and former MPs talking about viability. The Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak,
Asshole.
Helen Whatley, Gillian Keegan, former MP Edwina Curry. Problem with this is they like to dodge the question of, well, why is this not viable? Why are these people not viable? Now, quickly, just to everyone that's listening, they might not realise that, okay, we're DJs, but it's not just us. It actually affects the supply chain. So that affects the supplier of the alcohol, the logistics behind that, which is the delivery of the alcohol. And it affects security, bar staff, admin staff, management staff, theatre staff, because they're classed as not viable, techies, actors, singers, musicians, dancers. Now, your favourite TV show, movie or theatre show will have a mixture of all or some of them people. And the government have basically said none of us are viable, which I think is a very, very strong statement to
What
say.
they've basically said is, well, what it feels like to me anyway, this has all come from a place where they're like, actually they genuinely have no fucking clue. It's a complete, like, what's the word? It's a complete class divide here, because the upper class, which is most MPs, Rishi Sunak's father-in-law is worth like $15 billion, so I'm sure he's not fucking scrounging for the pounds. Like these kind of people that are making our decisions for money and jobs have absolutely no idea. There was that interview a couple of years ago where they were asked Boris Johnson how much like a carton of milk was, like a pint of milk, and he had no fucking idea. Or like how much a loaf of bread was. These people don't live in our world, so they don't understand it. But actually, I was actually sitting and trying to think of one event of anything, of like any sorts, any form of entertainment that happens without techies, DJs, soundies, lighties, like lampies, vidiots, like anyone, even as small as. So actually the biggest sector in the hospitality industry is the conference section. And that's because, which is obviously a sector that I'm in, it's worth 16 billion a year. But actually that 16 billion is a lot of tech, but it's also loads of night stays in hotels. It's hotel staff, it's chefs, it's servers, it's bar staff. There's so much other stuff that actually by just saying, oh, well, it's not viable. It's not viable right now. I can understand what you're saying in the sense of, you're not going to make loads of money and you might have to pick up a part-time job, which is always a possibility. We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. But normally we might go from 100% of income to, I don't know, 60, 70, but you kind of save up for it and you sort of know where you're going, and you know that, I don't know, like January to March is always dry for gigs. Everyone knows that. So you save a little bit more in September to December because you're making a little bit more. It balances out. Here they're kind of just basically like, well, if we can't get your job because we don't know how to give you your job and we don't want to give you any money either, well, it's just a bit of a fucking shame, isn't it? It's basically what they said.
Yeah.
Well-
Well, to cut in just to what you were saying, it's only not viable because the government is not allowing it to be viable. The viable,
Exactly.
I know
Brother.
there is the coronavirus, but the government has made it not viable because they're not allowing the venues to open.
So actually,
they're viable
just-
because if they open, they make money. That means it's viable.
Just to hit you on that,
yeah.
that's actually so true. And I can't believe I missed that. So actually, really, if we're playing it like this, because this is the way that the explanation that the government are saying, it's like, well, we shouldn't really have Premier League football on either. And I'm a massive Villa fan,
They
and I
shouldn't.
want to watch. Big up Villa, 7-2. Any Liverpool fans listening, it's a fucking shame. But that match shouldn't have happened because football's not viable. Football's not viable.
No,
We've
it's
got
not.
22 people plus subs plus staff in a fucking area, and they're all next to each other, and they're sweating on each other and spitting on the ground and running through that. That's not viable.
Can I?
If we're not,
No, can I interject very, very quickly, and then Chris, you can make your point. Is the government said they're going to give money to football clubs because they've obviously took a loss by not having fans. I think maybe all of our issue is the fact that there is a customer base that wants to come to nightclubs, theatres, arts, hospitality, nightlife entertainment. The only reason they cannot come to them is because the government won't allow them. We have a product, and I'm sure you'll all agree, that the customer base is there for, they want to come to, but the only thing that's stopping them is the government. So it is viable, and it is a money maker because it wouldn't be the fifth biggest sector in the economy. Chris?
Yeah, you literally just led on perfectly to my next point. I was going to say after the viable one is we're not talking about, now I can't actually think of an example off the top of my head, but a really small industry that literally makes a few thousand a year.
yeah, like we're
This
not
is an
like
industry that-
bespoke fence makers or anything like that.
I was about to say something like, something like that, or, this isn't the I don't know, like the specialist fishing gear.
Yeah, no one's making like
Toggle
prestige
industry.
printed vinyl.
Yeah, like it's not something like, super niche.
Yeah.
This is something that is enjoyed is fair to say by the masses, and also something that I think the figure is it's between 4 and 5 billion every year just from music. This is the music industry.
Sorry, the nightlife industry, just to give you a fact, because obviously it leads on, I think it's around about 60 to 80 billion a year it contributes.
Then nightlife 60 to 80 billion.
Billion.
Yeah, billion. So it's
Billion. One more time with a big B.
B.
Billion.
B. That's a
billion.
B.
Yeah, that's
Um,
a lot of zeros, guys.
That's a lot of zeros. And I'm sure that's the music, that's nightlife covered, but I'm sure, things like the other arts and all the other, like Pav mentioned, conferencing, which was 16 billion. The other industries that kind of go along with it, it's the numbers don't lie. Let's look at it, because the government are looking at it from an economic point of view. Like, let's look at it at an economic point of view. Look at the statistics. They're obviously viable. That's not a small... How many zeros? That's not a small number. So I really don't know. That's my two points on it, but
Yeah,
it's just confusing.
It's such
actually
a
just
hard
confusing
thing,
to
isn't
me.
it?
It's confusing.
The one... There is people standing up for our industry in the arts and hospitality sector. Sacha Lord, who's the nighttime economist for Greater Manchester. He also runs the Fantastic Warehouse Project and Park Life.
Big ups.
He has been working with the NTIA. He's really positive. He's someone you should all follow and listen to if you're interested. Also, Andy Burnham, who's the mayor for Greater Manchester, is fully backing it, as well as Ministry of Sound's Lohan Presenza is the, I think, chairman of Ministry of Sound.
Chairman of Ministry of Sound.
Yeah.
He had a great, I think it's about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minute interview on Kay Burley. Even Kay Burley, Piers Morgan,
Yeah.
they are actually back in our sectors. And I never thought I'd agree with
It's
Piers
because
Morgan.
they realise actually our industry, because it's actually not too like overly saturated even now, but actually we're not a commodity. Like, I get we're an entertainment industry and hospitality, but actually we're not a commodity. We're a necessity in a lot of cases. So if we're talking in Parliament, there's a lot of mics and a lot of cameras. There's only one person that's going to fix them or run them. It's techies. Hospitality industry. You want to watch the news when Boris was doing his fucking conferences, like his press conferences, run by techies. It's the same industry. We're not something that can be thrown away anymore. I could understand 50, 80 years ago maybe having the mindset like that. But actually, and I think they're very, very smart in the way that they're trying to say it, because they're talking about musicians and they're talking about actors. They're not talking about, because everyone's like, oh, well, if you want to make music, you can just make music anyway, which is true. And obviously a lot of people say, oh, if you didn't make money off it, would you still do it? And a lot of people say yes. And wow, a lot of us still are. But they're pointing at like the easiest target, because actually when you talk about techies, which is probably a bigger sector, like techies and project managers and people like that, they're the ones that are making sure that you get this news. It's actually a bit of a kick in the teeth that people are using our skills to tell us that our skills aren't viable.
I never thought about that. That's quite funny.
It's fucked, isn't it? It's fully fucked.
I think Pav's got a great point. So when they're saying about retraining and learning a new skill, that's fine. I'll just turn your mic off, turn the software off, this, putting you onto the computer, which is showing you to millions of people. See you later. The thing that, as well, like our audience mostly maybe realise, maybe don't realise, is that Drake show, that Travis Scott show, that Camel Fat show, some of your favourite artists that you saw at the O2 or Brixton Academy, they don't just roll up, press a button, everything turns on, let's play to the people. Right, the previous Drake tour, the last Drake tour he did, there's a figure and it will tell you how many people, crew, were involved at the O2. 200 of the O2's own crew plus 150 of Drake's crew. Now that's just technical, guys. Yeah. That's not catering staff. That's not, the hotels. That's not the transport. That was just the crew that put the show together, made the show run, and dismantled the show. So, guys, realistically, it affects all of us. I know we talk about the DJ standpoint, but if you want to see that favourite Drake show, or you want to see Kanye or Camel Fat, or
you want to watch your favourite TV show,
it affects us, and the government are treating it like we're not viable. And Edwina Curry, who ate kangaroo dick on fucking I'm a Celebrity, is trying to tell me to get a new job. She can fuck off.
Pretty much.
I'm not being funny. The only reason that she got on the news is because a techie has put her face up on the screen and broadcast it with her talking. It doesn't, the things they're talking about, like you said, are just and they just don't make sense.
It's a skill. This is another thing one thing that really fucks me off a little bit is as a techie myself, a lot of people consider it to be an unskilled job. It's fucking not, because I do this one conference for this company every year, and there's like a lot of breakout rooms and they've all got like a computer and a projector in. When I say 80% at least don't know how to use a computer, I'm not even, that might be an understatement. I'll get things like, oh, can you just come in? The computer's not working. And it'll be like, they've not fucking clicked on the PowerPoint and shit like that. Or like, what did I have? I've had some fucked up, stupid ones like, oh, the sound's not coming out. Yes, because you haven't played the video. I had 1 year.
I think the thing is, sorry.
Yeah, go on, mate.
But I just to like, add to what you're saying. If you got to look at, I always like to look at these things when the government says things like this as like from a government point of view. So you look at it from like an economist point of view. And if the jobs were unskilled, I mean, we're 3 examples of 3 people that have earned good money over the years from, DJing, techie, music, whatever it might be, the arts, the sector that they're now saying aren't viable. So to say it's not, I mean, why are we getting paid then? Like, there's a mismatch here, like,
and sorry,
obviously it's skilled because we there's demand. We're earning money as we're paying taxes,
And to sort of butt in, and when people say it's unskilled, or it's maybe people think it might be uneducated. Like from the government standpoint, it's an uneducated job. Chris, you have a degree, yeah?
In music business. Funny enough.
Pav, do you have a degree?
I have a law degree, and my specialist subject was music copyright.
Okay, and I have a degree in music technology, and my specialist subject in that was live music. So we all hold degree. It's not like we
I'll caveat that we've also all 3 of us are unemployed, but it is what it is.
That just sums up the British
Basically,
education
what
system.
we're actually
But-
just saying is everything we've just spoken about for the last half an hour was bullshit. No, I'm
No, I think we've got
Wade's
some-
got a point as
No,
well.
he's
It's
spot on,
like
he's spot
same as
on.
my
I'm
point,
fucking with
same
you.
as my point.
we have some very good points, and look, I think we're going to wrap the news bit up because we could talk about it for hours.
And we're going to come back to it, aren't we?
Oh, obviously.
We will come back. We will come back to it. Look, there's a lot of people supporting our sector and what we do, and
Yo,
everyone that
just
listens or watches us.
Biggest big up to Patrick Nazemi, yeah, because that guy's flying the flag right now. Him and Majestic.
No, but mate, those two,
Flying the
big
flag.
shout out.
Big
But there's
artists
loads
that
of
are
people
flying
doing
the
it.
flag. Like
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
couple.
yeah,
I'm
there's
sure there's
plenty of
loads.
people.
Calvin Harris, obviously, he's actually the reason why we're doing this topic because he's flying the flag. Fatboy Slim. I think I saw Disclosure. In fact, I think Disclosure on BBC News the other day.
Yeah, Disclosure
Big up
going
all
out.
these guys, man. Everyone that's supporting, like the big artists.
I think-
Because
Yeah,
a lot of these big artists don't have to. They've got mansions. Like it don't make a difference to them. They can retire.
Pav, they do have to, because I don't think you realise Disclosure, the majority of their money will come from.
Oh,
our
that's what I'm
touring.
saying. Yeah, as in like a lot of the big artists. There's a lot of like Calvin Harris. Calvin Harris doesn't have to post
Calvin
it.
Harris,
People
yeah.
like that. Fatboy Slim doesn't have to post anything. He's making money. Like
But even people outside of our sector, like Liam Gallagher.
biggest big up. Yeah, he's legend. Again, someone that doesn't have to do it, but understands actually will get fucked otherwise. Arctic Monkeys. Monkeys have been selling a lot of their old stuff, like their old guitars and stuff, for all the venues they used to play in Manchester, and like donating big ups. Like you're kind of saving.
You could say Liam Gallagher is in our sector.
Well, he is.
You know, you can obviously you can
He's just at
class
the
it as
top.
different things, but it's entertainment. You know, it's all entertainment. It's all people in the entertainment sector.
He's just right at the top of the industry.
The one thing I'd say is I think there's some really good minds behind it, like Sasha Lord, Andy Burnham, Lohan Presence, who's the chairman of Ministry of Sound. I see Calvin Harris obviously was the first real big star to come out and sort of put it, on social media. But I do think there needs to be more. There needs to be more stars. There's people with number one hits, Joel Corey, Nathan Dorr. They're number one selling artists, or at least top 10 selling artists. They sell at big shows and big festivals. They need to post. I think there's more of us, just club DJs.
Yeah, man. Everyone needs to post.
It's definitely got to be a thing that everyone does together. You can't just expect a Calvin Harris to do it, and you can't just expect your resident DJ at your favourite venue to do it. It's really a joint effort. And on that, big up Sasha Lord and the NTIA, because they are the guys that are really sort of doing the legwork. So it'd be great if we could get him on a podcast, to be honest. But
That'd be unreal.
maybe. Well, I think maybe we should reach out to Sasha Lord. So Sasha Lord, I know you don't listen to us, but if you'd like to come on a podcast, we'd really like it. That I think should wrap up the news. I just want to say one more thing, then we move on to reviews. Is that okay?
Let's do it.
Edwina Curry, fuck off.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay, let's go to reviews. As always, you can find all the tracks we talk about on our Spotify and YouTube playlist. Please check them out. Please tell us if you agree, if you don't agree. And equally, if there's a track that you think should be in our reviews that we haven't reviewed, because if you bring it to our attention, it might end up in the reviews. Okay, shall we start?
Let's go.
Okay, let's just all take a moment, because I got really worked up during that news segment.
Breather.
Has everyone got that breathe
I
app?
know.
The one for iPhone. The watch one. 10 seconds. Breathe in.
I think, honestly, I think I'm going to have to start like meditating. Okay, let's just start with the reviews. Okay, some really good, really good reviews this week. Really big hitters as well. First one, Georgia Smith featuring Popcan. The track is called Come Over. Chris.
Tune. Great record. Another cartoon video. What is it with these cartoon videos
because
being put
they're
out by
really easy
majors?
to do at the moment while nobody can link up.
I guess so. Yeah. Another cartoon video. Yeah, I was feeling this one. Georgia Smith, Unreal Vibes, Popcorn, Legend. 4 out of 5 drinks from me.
Big. Okay, Pav.
I liked it. It wasn't a 4 for me. It was a 3 for me. It didn't quite hit my vibe, but it was a good song. One thing I did point out is that I felt like Georgia Smith really sounded like very Amy Winehousey in the tune, like the same kind of tone, but I like that. So 3 out of 5, yeah, Good song.
Okay, Georgia Smith featuring Popcan. Track's called Come Over. I gave it 4. I'll tell you why I gave it 4, because I think it's a really cool collaboration, really good collaboration, and maybe a collaboration that you'd want to come together that you might not see, and it did. And the tracks, yeah, it's a tune, like it is literally a tune, so it gets 4. Okay, let's move on. Becky Hill, the track is called Space. Pav?
I really like this. I had to break the rule a little bit because I went for a half drink. So I went...
So it's like,
So I went 3.5
go on,
drinks. So I
you've
gave it
gave it-
3.5 drinks. It didn't quite hit a 4 for me. Like, but
3 in a shot.
yeah,
then.
pretty much. But it's really good. I really liked it's a different style to what Becky Hill's doing. I think, like, obviously we know her as the big hitting dance like vocalist, and she's come out with this, and I was like, oh, it's a bit different. But sometimes different can be bad, but this was good different. So yeah, 3.5. I feel like if I listen to it for another couple of weeks, it'll just go to a 4. But it is good.
Chris?
Yeah, I was going to say a similar thing. I liked how it was a little bit different from what she's done before, and the song was pretty good. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 drinks.
I agree with Chris on Becky Hill's track called Space. I gave it 3 as well. I thought it was good. Like what you both said, it was different. I just want to see more Becky Hill, like Becky Hill solo stuff, not her being the vocalist,
She's
which I
really
think is obviously
good.
happening now because she's fantastic. So, Becky, I know you don't listen to our podcast, but keep putting out music. Next track, D Block Europe featuring H. It's called UFO. Pav?
I like it because it doesn't sound like normal D Block. Because I don't like normal D Block, which sounds so bad. But yeah, I gave it a 3. Not really my style. I don't really like the auto-tuning style of hooks. It's just not really for me. I think unless it's done like perfectly, I can't really have it. And T-Pain's the GOAT for that. So if it's not T-Pain, I'm not really feeling it. But 3 out of 5.
Chris?
It's so weird, right? I really want H to be sick. Like, I want H to be sick, because after that Straight Rhymes one, I was like, that is unreal. I've watched that so many times. I was like, it's almost like he was going to go like this way, and then he's kind of gone like that way. Like, every time I listen to his tracks, I'm like waiting for those unreal bars that he did on his Straight Rhymes freestyle and also the Kenny All-Star 1 Extra freestyle. Yeah, I just want him to be sick, and I know he can be sicker than on this tune. So I did give it a 3 out of 5 drinks, but big shouts to H.
Okay, I agree. I gave 3 out of 5 drinks as well. UFO, D Block Europe featuring H. Got 3 out of 5
we
from
all
me.
agreed.
I don't mind D Block. Yeah, I wanted H's verse to be better.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I feel bad for criticising him, saying it needs to be better. But I was like, oh, H is on it. I think
He's
it'd
got
be
so
sick.
many
and I was just like,
good
oh, it's okay.
verses that the bar is high for him.
Yeah, he's set his own bar very high, and rightly so, but he gets 3. Okay, let's move on. Korean pop group Blackpink, they feature Cardi B. The track is called Bet You Wanna. Chris, we're going to go to you because you did the whole K-pop
Oh, yeah.
episode for us.
Blackpink are kind of everywhere now. I don't know if that's just like my perspective, but they're doing obviously tracks with Cardi B, Selena Gomez, and they're kind of like really going even more crazy than what they were when we did that first podcast. Right now on this track with Cardi B, they remind me of Fifth Harmony, like in their early days. So yeah, and also it's all in English, which is a bit weird. I'm not sure if they're now deciding just to sing and rap in English. Who knows? But it's interesting how like they're kind of, from my perspective, like they've got a crazy fan base. I don't know if you look at like TikTok or all the things on YouTube and everything on social media, but the fan base is crazy. Yeah, and the track was good. I gave it 3 out of 5 drinks, but it's, yeah, Blackpink. That's a new wave, is fair to say.
Yeah, Pav?
Yeah, I gave it a 2.
Mad.
And it was a bit of a weird one for me because I was listening to it and I was bopping to it. But I was like, it's just a bit fucking trash. And then Cardi B came in. The only thing I can describe it as, it sounded like an extra in High School Musical. But also, did you guys ever hear Ollie Murs featuring Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
It felt like
I
that.
don't remember that.
Have you not seen it? It wasn't that long. It was
No, I
like one of
think
his
I have.
recent releases.
I have. Okay, I need to check this out.
Listen to
That's
it,
crazy.
and you'll know
That's
exactly what I'm talking about, and it will just like lower your standard of this song straight away. It just kind of felt a bit too trashy, but maybe in like 10 years it'll be all right. So yeah, 2 out of 5.
Okay, Blackpink featuring Cardi B. It's called Bet You Wanna. I gave it 2 as well. And the reason I gave it 2 is because I think Blackpink's previous stuff is better. And I don't like the fact they're singing in all English. Like, I liked the fact that it was like Korean English.
That like mash
you
up
know.
Korean and
Yeah.
English, like half the line
Yeah.
in Korean, half the line in English. I was like, oh, that's cool. But now
Yeah,
it's,
like
lost.
in Latin music, there's Spanglish, which is like half Spanish, half English.
Yeah.
I don't think Korenglish is a thing, but I liked it. So do more Korenglish.
Mm.
Sound like a crisp. That did.
Okay,
you got those
What,
new
Korenglish?
McCoy's Korenglishes.
well, I might trademark that. That's something we should trademark, like the podcast. We can start using that Korenglish. Okay, moving on. 21 Savage and Metro Boomin featuring Toronto's own Drake. The track's called Mr. Right Now, and it's off Savage Mode 2, the album, which I've been listening to quite a lot. I'll start
Go
with
on,
this one,
mate.
I think. Mr. Right Now, I listened, like I said, to Savage Mode 2, the album, which is narrated by the legendary Morgan Freeman.
Oh yeah,
so
good.
please check that out if
Wow,
you've not.
this-
It's
this track's a
fantastic.
fun-
And also
This track's a fun.
just a side note, he does completely call out Tekashi 6ix9ine as well, and that's Morgan Freeman. Just fucking cusses him for about a minute. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, on the Snitches and Rats interlude. But let's talk about Mr. Right Now. I gave it 5 big drinks. It's a fantastic collaboration. The song bangs. You definitely hear it in your local club, if we could play in the clubs. And Drake's verse on it talks about when he went out with SZA in 08, and SZA corrected him and said it wasn't 08, it was 09. But fair enough.
That's because it would have been Nancy
yes.
if it was 08. As an age thing, that's why she came out and corrected it.
No, it,
No, seriously,
No,
if you
what-
actually have a look, I properly read into it. That's why she was like, "Oh, he's using artistic license because it sounded good." It was in 09. It was legal.
Oh,
yeah, because he says wait in 08, so obviously it rhymes, and 09 and wait doesn't. But
Sorry.
she correct. That's what they said. But he gets 5 from me. I think it's a banger. So Pav,
I gave it a 3. Didn't quite hit the mark, but again, I think I have that same problem. I have such a high expectation of Drake that for me, this just didn't quite hit it. And obviously, I know he loves collaborating with British artists, and this is obviously no different with 21 Savage. But but yeah, it just didn't quite hit the mark, but it wasn't shit, so I had to give it 3.
Chris.
Yeah, I just listen to 21 Savage songs just to hear his ad libs. I think his ad libs
Yeah,
so
yeah.
jokes. Like, I prefer his ad libs more than his actual like lead vocal. But yeah, I thought the song was cool. I gave it 3 out of 5 drinks. Yeah, it was good. Like, it was good. I liked it. It was 3 out of 5 drinks for me.
Fair enough. Maybe it's because I put Drake's features and Drake's songs in 2 different categories in my mind. So I expect a different thing from a Drake feature and a different thing from a Drake song. So that's maybe why.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of 21 Savage and Metro Boomin and Drake, and I'm the hip hop guy. So
I think ever
5.
since Versace with Migos, like back whenever year that was, when Drake did that feature,
Yeah.
that was from that point on. That was a remix, wasn't it? But still, kind of feature.
Yeah.
From that point on, I just think Drake's features are just like wicked. Like Mia as well.
Right.
The Spanish one was, what was that? J Balvin, I think.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Pav. What are you saying about they're not the same features and?
I mean, I didn't say
Originals.
anything about it. I don't really differentiate Drake because I feel like he's just so good. And most times, if he's on a tune with someone else, the tune has been made to have Drake on it, or it has that vibe, which is normally why he jumps on it.
As Drake said, every song sounds like Drake featuring Drake. Straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
I
Let's
love
not just
that.
continue talking about
That's
Drake.
so good.
Next track, Don't Stop, Megan Thee Stallion featuring Young Thug. Chris?
Yeah. I was like, is this going to be uploaded on UKF? Like UKF dubstep? Like with the listening to the beat. I was like, wow, like there's some like wobble going on here and some serious bass. And yeah, it goes hard. Like Megan Thee Stallion, like she just goes in. Yeah, I actually gave this one a 4 out of 5 because it actually just go. I was listening, I was like, whoa, like this is going in right now. And the beat, obviously, it's funny, like it sounds like dubstep, or whatever, but the beat actually is hard and it's different. It's something new and different. It's not just like 808 bass drum, 808 hi hat, and then like whatever. Like it's actually something completely different. So yeah, 4 out of 5 drinks for me. I was feeling it.
I give it a 3. I agree with the beat. The beat is just sick in it, but like I'm not a huge fan of the vocals. No particular reason, just didn't really resonate with me. So yeah, 3 out of 5. But that beat is a bit fucking mad in it.
I gave it 4 out of 5 purely because the beat. Yeah, I think we all agree the beat is actually sick. I gave it 4 out of 5 because it's better than average. Megan Thee Stallion always comes with it. It's a good feature with Young Thug and the beat. Sick. So 4. Okay, let's go into some dance music for a little bit. Track is by Disciples. It's called I Got You. Chris?
I liked it. I first saw this track. I did this shock. I liked it when I first saw a video on Instagram of Disciples like writing the bass line to this track. And I was like, even then I was like, it like pricked up my ears. I was like, wow, this sounds cool. Yeah, the track's good. I don't know. I feel like I want it to hit better. Like I do really like the track, and Disciples are wicked. But I don't know. I just feel sometimes these like tracks, I just want them to like hit better, and then I think they do like better numbers because I want them to do better numbers. But I don't know. I might be like looking too much into it. But yeah, I gave it 4 out of 5 drinks because I was really enjoying it. It was a good song.
I had the same problem with it. I was like, I really like this, and I want Disciple songs to be good and big, and it's still a good song. It just wasn't like I'm always, again, I think we expect so much from Disciples because we are all big fans and we actually know they're really good, that it just didn't quite hit it for me. So I gave it a 3. But it's still a good feel-good song.
Okay, I Got You, Disciples. I gave it 4. I think it's really good. I completely get your points about you want it to hit harder.
I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. That's why I was like struggling to really pin down what I was saying.
There's something missing, isn't it?
I don't know what it is.
It's a bit of sub bass or like a kick, or there's something wrong with it that's not quite there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but it gets 4. I think it's still good, but it's just missing something. It's very tiny. Okay, moving on. Bryson Tiller featuring Drake is the second feature. The track's called Out of Time. Chris?
A big fan of Bryson Tiller, and I actually remember listening to Bryson Tiller on SoundCloud like 6 or 7 years ago, or maybe even longer ago, when he was doing covers of Drake, like illegal covers on his SoundCloud. Like How About Now, he did a cover of that, and that like helped him put himself on the map. And now it's just so good to see like that. And then now, like, cut like 6 or 7 years later, and now he's like actually doing official label-backed collaborations with Drake. I just think it's just so good to see. Exciting. So yeah, I gave it 4 out of 5. I thought it was a vibe.
Pav?
I again had to break the rule of half marks last time. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5, and I couldn't give it a 5. But I don't know why I didn't give it a 5. Like, there's just something not absolutely on the money for me that I haven't given it a 5. I feel like it is a grower for a 5. It's typical Drake sound, and I feel like this might be the anomaly for you guys, because obviously you guys are like, feature Drake and normal Drake are different. But actually, this tune, although it's released on Bryson Tiller's album and it's his song, was produced by 40 and was made in the OVO studio. So it's kind of basically an OVO song, really. And it just sounded like how I want Drake to sound. Like, I just heard it and I was like, this is like what I want. It was like no guidance kind of style. Like, it's just like, it's what I love about Drake. So yeah, 4.5, man.
Okay, Out of Time, Bryson Tiller featuring Drake. I gave it 5. So Drake's got 2 5s this week from me as features. What a collaboration. You know, what you'd expect to hear Bryson Tiller on and what you'd expect to hear Drake on.
Unreal.
They just, like, I don't think the bar gets higher than that, so it gets 5. Okay, let's move on. All I Want That's the name of the track. It's by Second City and Paul Wolford, featuring Andrea Martin on the vocals. Chris?
Don't say Chris like that. Don't say Chris in that suggestive tone,
Chris.
expecting me to say something. No, I just Second City and Paul Wolford legend. Second City produced some unreal records, and it's like these guys are so good. I want more. Like I want, I just same with like H, like I said earlier, and like Disciples. Like I just sometimes I'm think like the artists are so good. I want them to like keep being good and like release like unreal records.
Joe, what would help, Chris, if Second City and Paul Wolford worked with you?
Do you know what? I think that would help, and I think it would be my honour to help. I'd love to. So my email's open. But yeah, I gave it 3 out of 5. This track.
You give it a what?
I gave it 3 out of 5 drinks.
Okay.
Chris is also running for the MP of Chelmsford.
Well, I mean, there's no DJ gigs, so I've got to go with the money. Is,
That's 70k, yeah, baby.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Keeping it PC. Okay.
Yeah, so I just want to caveat the fact that Chris is absolutely chatting shit, and I'm joking. Oh, whoa. Sorry, we got some more breaking news. For that ass. Big up Husey.
What is
Pubs
it then?
and restaurants across all of central Scotland are being closed from Friday.
Oh, that come out earlier.
Oh.
I just got them notif now.
But that's right. None of us live in Scotland, so it's fine.
That's why I didn't talk about it, because I thought it don't affect
Yeah,
it.
but basically what we're doing at the moment is seeing what they do and copying it. Pretty much.
Well, let's hope not.
They're about 3 months ahead of the curve with us. In terms of legislation, everything that they do, we've done, but like 2 or 3 months later. But we'll leave that because that's done.
So in January, everything is shut.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I gave it 3 out of 5. Didn't hate it. Didn't love it. I know Chris hated it, so I'll say it for him. I'm joking. Yeah, 3 out of 5. No issues really. It's all right.
I think I gave it 3 out of 5 equally. If it didn't have Andrea Martin on the vocals, it was someone else. Most of you got a 2, because I really like her voice. She's done some great work in the past. Yeah, I don't know. Second City and Paul Wolford. Paul Wolford makes some absolutely brilliant tracks. Equally, so does Second City.
This is what I'm saying.
Just for a collaboration, if it was one of them, fair enough. I'd be like, hey, it's good. But it's 2 powerhouses, so I expect a powerhouse track.
I just have to butt in here, and this is why when people in like rap collaborate, it's exciting and it gets like a million views. And then when people collaborate in electronic and dance music, where's the energy? Where's that excitement? Like, where's like the crazy new like breaking boundaries, doing something crazy? It's not exciting, so no one cares.
Like
I said. Before we move on, Second City, Paul Wolford, please contact Chris.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to his TED Talk.
Much appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, let's move on before Chris gives us some other TED Talks. Okay, the track is by Ella Henderson and Roger Sanchez. Absolute legend. The track is called Dream on Me. Pav?
Yeah, really like this song. I've not been the biggest fan of Ella Henderson over the years. Like, I'm not like searching for her or anything. But I saw this and I saw it was with Roger Sanchez and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, this could be interesting actually. And it was like, obviously Roger Sanchez, massive legend. Like, he's up there. And then I was like, oh, with Ella Henderson. Oh, this is pretty good. So yeah, I gave it a 4, man. I liked it. I like the vibe.
Chris?
Yeah, I think Ella Henderson has been dealing with the classic, loads of publicity from X Factor. Great, like brilliant. And then it's just like trying to steer it round so she's like a credible artist. When I looked on the video and the top rated comment was, she was always my favorite X Factor contestant, and then loads of thumbs up. It was like I was almost upset to see that. I was like, no, because she's so good and the track is so good.
She's no Leona Lewis though, mate.
No. I didn't say the comment. I just said like that was the comment, and Leona Lewis, like legendary. But Ella Henderson, wicked. Like, she's an amazing singer, and now looks like she's becoming a great artist, especially with songs like this. And last point on it. It was actually great to hear a song that's just well written. Like the singing's great, the visuals are great, the production's great, and it's happy, it's positive. It's just like a great piece of music, like in the charts, getting views. It had like 130,000 views, in a few days or whatever. It was just great to see that. So, do you know what? I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 drinks.
Ooh,
I'm
that's
giving
big.
it a 5. Do you know what? I'm going to be generous. I'm going to give it 5 drinks.
I mean, after you shat on fucking Second City a second ago, that'd be calm.
Well, okay, right, my thoughts. Ella Henderson and Roger Sanchez. That's called Dream on Me. I agree with you on everything you said about, your whole great collaboration, great songwriting, great production, great video, great artists.
Just really well done.
Great.
Like everything's
Really
done
well done. Yeah, really, really done well. I gave it 4. No, I'll give it 5 because actually, realistically, I can't ask for any more.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking I'll give it 4 because I shouldn't give away loads of 5s, but realistically, it hits every box. So it gets 5
Yes.
because of everything Chris said, and Roger Sanchez produced Another Chance, and Ella Henderson. I didn't mind her track when she first came out of X Factor, Ghost, and she's a brilliant singer. So you know what? 5 drinks from me as well. Why not?
Nice.
Let's
Let's
keep
be
up
generous.
the positive
Yeah,
vibes.
positive. Let's be generous. Share the love.
Yeah.
Speaking of positivity, let's move on to the next track. It's called Blend. Netsky, Rudimental, and Afronaut Zoo. Pav.
Oh, I gave this a 4 again, man. I like this tune. Just felt the vibe. Like, it was one of those tunes I was like, I have no idea what to expect. And then I heard it and I was like, it's just good. But it was better than just, it wasn't like I really liked it. I love the melodies. I love the way the song is arranged. Like, there's not much of it that I don't like. There was just kind of, it just didn't quite hit the mark. But 4 out of 5, man. Very, very, very good effort.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm not really like a drum and bass head massively. I like the odd track. I've said that before on the podcast. I like the odd track here and
Just
there.
Mackie G Tour.
Yeah, like the odd one. Obviously, that's a record. No one can deny it. Even if you're not a drum and bass head, you can't deny that is a record. Mackie G Tour.
Yes.
But I gave this one 3 out of 5 drinks.
Cool. I thought you just said I gave it 1. I was like, oh, bloody hell.
No, 3 out of 5.
Okay, Netsky, Rudimental, and Afronaut Zoo. Track is called Blend. I gave it 4 out of 5 because I think it's a good collaboration. I saw Netsky and I saw Rudimental, and obviously we know what to expect from Netsky and we know what to expect from Rudimental, and it sounded like what they'd collaborate on, if that makes sense. I weren't disappointed. Some of these collaborations, you look at them and you go, and then some of them, obviously, you're surprised, like Ella Henderson and Roger Sanchez, wouldn't put them two together. But this was one that I expected good things, and I got a good track out of it. So it gets 4. Okay, let's move on. Track is called Through the Window. It is by Cranium. Pav?
Good song, no real issues. 3 out of 5, nice and simple. Didn't really hate it, didn't completely love it, but it was a good song. Would probably keep it on if it was on a shuffle. So yeah, nothing special.
Chris?
Yeah, I'd agree with everything Pav said. It was good. It was just like, 3 out of 5 drinks for me.
And I agree with both of you, and I gave it 3 out of 5
It was just
drinks
not
as well.
particularly
Cranium, Through the
inspiring,
Window.
was it?
It weren't so much that. It was the simple fact that I wish this was released like in June when it was hot. It would have just banged in the sun. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that vibe. And it's freezing here. So it just didn't have the same like sunshine vibe that I expect. But look, that's my own fault for living somewhere so cold. Moving on. Happy Place, Toddler T and Jada Kingdom. Chris?
Wicked. Toddler T, awesome producer. The beat is just hard. Not surprised. Not even just mentioning Toddler T as like production credit, and then like obviously goes about saying the beat's hard. So yeah, I don't know whether to give this a 3 or 4. I'm gonna have to give this one a 4 out of 5. I wish that the hook, it was like the verse is hard, and then it went to like the hook, and I was like, it would have wicked to like, I don't know. I feel like it could have gone like higher, but I give it a 4 out of 5 drinks because it's just Toddler T wicked. Like, love it. So Toddler T, 4 out of 5 drinks.
So I gave it a 3 out of 5. And I did this for a couple of reasons. The first one is I really don't like the drums in the song. The drums felt a little too harsh for my liking. So that was one problem that I had. The second problem that I had is actually I listened to it and I was like, this is such an amazing song. But if it was a reggae song, I think it would be just way better. I feel like if this was Toddler T featuring Shy FX, this was a 5 straight away, without question. If that had a reggae, like a proper reggae bass line on it and some reggae drums, it's 5 all day.
Maybe what I was saying about the hook, they should have switched it into like a reggaeton beat or something.
Like if it's got like a,
on the hook,
if it's got like a proper like a reggae bass line and it's got reggae drums on that, like playing on like the 2s and 4s, I'm having that. But it didn't. Obviously, it didn't do that. So I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Okay, track's called Happy Place by Toddler T and Jada Kingdom. I gave it 4. I think it's really good. I agree. I don't really agree with the drum thing, but the thing I found with Toddler T track, especially when they're his own track, is he tends to do a VIP remix or his own remix of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's more of a reggae, Afro beat, dancehall, soca style remix coming. I think it's good. Like it's good quality for Toddler T, and that's what I expect. He's put Toddler T in his radio show, and him as a broadcaster put me onto a lot of artists, a lot of sounds, and look, I like it. I'd play it. I'd listen to it. Okay, we've got 2 tracks left, both dance music, so Chris should be happy. The track is by Endor, who commercially everyone would know from Pump It Up, and it's called Fur. It's released on Defected Records, legendary. Chris.
Yeah.
Chris is bursting at the seams right now.
It's exciting to see, because obviously this track was championed by Michael Beebe, who obviously runs Solid Grooves and that kind of side of like house music. So when it's a Defected record being championed by Michael Beebe, like that is a collaboration, crossover, support, which has not happened before.
That is what Chris Watson's wet dreams are made of.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm a bit of a house music fan, but yeah.
Oh, thanks for that.
Yeah. Just sort of,
you should have told us a bit earlier, mate. We didn't know.
I should have said. Then this would all make sense. I like other music as well, though. You can't just put me in one box.
Just Pop Smoke.
Shout out to a t-shirt.
Yeah, right.
Chris, Pav's just trying to wind you up.
And
please.
succeeding.
The track, please.
And obviously the idea is like genius. Like it is. I'm going to say it's genius because it's just wicked. So I gave it 4 out of 5 drinks.
Pav?
So, yeah, I didn't like it.
Pav, you need to go some more raves, then you'd understand.
Yeah, you know what it is. I probably don't do enough Ket to like this song.
I don't do Ket.
Yeah. I just want to confirm.
He's not suggesting that.
I just want to confirm for all the listeners, we are a drug-free podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's mainly because none of us can afford it with no gigs.
Well, I'd like to quickly, before you think, if there's anyone that should do Ket, it's Edwina Curry. Okay, carry on.
What?
She should do some
What
Ket.
has this podcast become?
What are you actually saying there, Wade? Just what are you actually... I don't understand.
You know, fuck my opinion. Can you just explain that sentence,
Why
please?
should Edwina Curry go raving?
Because then she'd understand we're viable. Other than that, she can fuck off.
Oh, I see.
Please carry on.
Pav, now I understand what you're saying. Now I understand. Okay.
And to be honest, if she had some Ket, I don't know if she'd survive. She's really old. She's like, she was around when the Egyptians were roaming the earth. Right? So,
Mad.
No. Please, Pav.
Anyway, moving back to the song.
Mad.
Who would have thought Wade was going to be the most controversial on today's episode,
I
innit?
can't believe you just said that.
Oh, you can chop this up and like, use it as highlights. I really hate her.
There's a compilation of like, I'm going to have to put a little counter in the corner how many times Wade either says Edwina Curry is a bitch, is a cunt, or does Ket.
Well, look, just before you go into this track, she was on I'm a Celebrity, and I'm telling you now, I was voting her for every trial.
That's why, mate, you should spend your money wisely. Look now. Bet you wish you had all that money back.
No, it's free to vote on the app. Thanks, Pav.
Anyway, the song.
Look, Pav, don't bring her up. She just causes tension between the podcasters, all right? No drinks in the booth. We can't divide no drinks in the booth.
So
Yeah.
we've got.
We all hate Edwina Curry.
So we've got
Let's just move on.
Young
Yeah.
hater, Edwina Curry hater, Paul Wolford and
Chris.
Second City hater.
You're saying that about me.
No.
Guys, I love you.
Right, we are getting really butterfly.
So the
Pav,
song-
what did you gave it 2?
It just sounded very.
Fair
So
by
I want to
Endor.
caveat this with the first and only song I've heard of his, apart from this one, is "Pump It Up," which is obviously fucking banger. Like even when I was in LA last year, like I was on like St. Monica Beach, and they were playing it everywhere. It was like you couldn't get away from it. Great song.
Mm.
This just sounded a bit like "Pump It Up" Part 2. I didn't like that. I really don't like it when artists do that. Like it sounded like the same bass line, like the same synth. And I was like, could have been a bit more, like you've made a lot of money off the tune. You could have been a bit more, like you got a Jax Jones remix for fuck's sake. Like could have been a bit more inventive about it. And then he's got the old, the Beethoven in there. And I was like, oh, fuck off. It's a good tune for him to play at his gigs because he can like mix it up with Pump It Up. But I was like, if this comes on, I'll switch it. So it was a 2.
Okay. Endor, the track's called Fair. See, I know Endor well before Pump It Up, same way Chris most probably does as well. So Pump It Up was a bit of an anomaly for Endor. Because it was like this big commercial hit that, you know, he doesn't normally make.
It was the
commercial hits. He
vocal.
makes
The
them
vocal
big.
just completely destroyed that song, man. It was just made it so good.
Okay. I gave for 4 because if you drop that in a rave or a club, depending on your club, it'd most probably go off because it's just like a bit off key, but that's like the cool thing. I really liked the Beethoven piano thing. Like the sample. I just wish there was a little bit more of it, like throughout the track, not just where it was.
Drop, yeah.
That's just literally like that's me being really finicky and really picky, but I can't really say anything bad about it. So it gets 4 out of 5. Okay, last track today. Eli Brown. The track is called Killer. Chris.
Yeah, really enjoyed this. Eli Brown, low-key killing it, collaborating with Calvin Harris with his Love You Generator stuff. And I'm pretty sure that must be fueling him and his work and everything he's doing. This track was it was a vibe. I'm going to give it 3.5 drinks, my 1/2 rating.
Oh.
Pav?
I gave it a 3 for my classic didn't hate it, didn't love it. But it sounded good, so I can't knock it.
I gave it 4 Killer by Eli Brown because I thought the acid sort of arpeggiated bass and synth line was sick. I really liked it. That'd do some proper damage at a festival. Imagine that come on. So it gets 4 drinks from me. Okay, that wraps up all the reviews today. As always, you can find all the tracks on our Spotify playlist, No Drinks in the Booth. And the playlist is called No Drinks in the Booth. And as well, you can also watch the videos on our YouTube playlist. And some of them have got some really good videos, so you should definitely watch it. And now, before we move on completely, track of the week. Chris, do you want to start or Pav?
Do you know what? I'm undecided. I'm genuinely
I've got
undecided.
mine, so
right
I'll
now.
go. Because it had my highest rating. The 4.5 at a time. Bryson Tiller and Drake featuring the legendary Noah Shabib 40. Best producer in the game, pretty much. Nice and simple.
Chris, have you figured
Is
it
this,
out?
is this
or-
Second City and
Do you know what it is? It's Second City. That's my track of the week. Look,
No, it's not.
that's a really great track. That's a really great track.
but Chris, you've got this something brown on your nose.
Chris, look. I will do my track of the week, so you get about 20 seconds more time to think.
I've got it. I know which. I know.
Okay.
I know. I think because it's the one that stuck out the most. It's a close call between Drake and Bryson Tiller and Dream on Me, Ella Henderson. But the one that stuck out of the whole 15 for me was Dream on Me, Ella Henderson, and Roger Sanchez. I did give it a 5. and it's a great track. So, track of the week: "Dream on Me," Ella Henderson and Roger Sanchez.
Okay, my track of the week, rounding things off, is 21 Savage and Metro Boomin featuring Toronto's legendary Drake. The track is called Mr. Right Now. I gave it a 5, so I sort of had to. I gave 3 tracks a 5, but that was the one that I was really behind and really championed. So that's my track of the week. Pav's track of the week is, one more time, Pav.
Out of here. Out of fucking time. Get me out of here, because my heart is burning for me. Sorry, just me.
Wait, is Pav all right?
Out of time.
I don't know. Have you taken
Out of time? Peter,
Bryson Tiller and Drake, and Chris's track of the week was "Dream on Me," Ella Henderson and Roger Sanchez, and mine was "Mr. Right Now." 21 Savage, Metro Boomin, and Drake. As always, please let us know if you disagree or agree, which I highly doubt. We like it when you don't agree. It gives us something to talk about. But make sure you check out the Spotify and YouTube playlist. Please, please, please do that for us. And that is the news. Edwina Curry, go away, and reviews. Yeah, I'm going to plug that all for you. Just little drops of Edwina Curry and reviews.
That should be a new podcast. Drops of Edwina Curry.
If I saw her, I'd drop Edwina Curry. But I really hate her. I can't stand her so badly.
It's mad.
Right, okay, that's news. That's reviews. That's me done. Let's move on to the topic. Calvin Harris and our top 5. Pav, do you want to take over?
Yeah, guys, so I'll explain this one. So obviously, basically what's happened is none of us could think of a topic. So that was great. And of course, the legend that is Calvin Harris is obviously been back in the industry. He's putting them posts out. I think he might even be the most shared post at this point, because I've seen everybody and their dog post that. But he's a great one for it, because he's an artist that actually has a lot of non-DJ followers, as opposed to people like Patrick Nazemi and Majestic that have a lot of DJ following as well. Calvin Harris has got so much more commercial things. So we were like, you know what? We need to do an ode to this guy, because he's doing his bit to save the industry. So yeah, top 5. This has been professionally stolen from Julie Adenuga, who's a legend. Make sure you check out her channel, which, because you probably have, because let's face it, we're slightly less popular. But yeah, so top 5. We've all picked our top 5 favorite Calvin Harris songs. So there's just a couple of rules just to make sure that we stick on it. Can't be a feature. If it's a feature, it has to be another artist and Calvin Harris. It can't be something like Dizzy Rascal featuring Calvin Harris. That's not allowed. The second one is your top 5. There's no rules. Any of his songs, literally, it just needs to be a mixture. It can't be just obviously all of his commercial hits. It can't just be all of your favorite ones. It has to be a little bit of a mix in terms of making sure, like, because commercial success does make a difference at some point. But otherwise, it's pretty much a free-for-all. So yeah,
it's a free-for-all with loads of rules.
Otherwise, after that, it's a free. I'm like 2 rules. It's a free-for-all.
It's a complete lie. It's a free-for-all.
It's
with loads
any
of
Calvin
rules.
Harris song that's not a feature, and your list has to take into account the commercial and also the sound of the song, like the sonic, and that's it. Nothing else. Top 5s.
Okay, well, I did my list without any of that.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. So, like, if we're getting into this and we're like, oh, this song or this song, but one is far, far more successful, then that might be an argument. And when I say that, I mean, I just thought that Chris was going to bring it up at some point. I'll be honest. So I basically put it in there.
Can I just start my list? I'm going to... Can I
Is your list in order, or are you just going to throw your 5 out?
Well, I've got 5 written down, so I don't mind throwing them out, but I can put them in order as I talk about them if you want. It's completely
Order makes it easier. Let's go with that.
Okay, order. I put I'm Not Alone as number 1 because what a banger, and I've got quite a funny story about I'm Not Alone. I put Feel So Close at number 2. And I could tell you why if you want, because I like Calvin's actual singing voice, even though he can't sing, and he says that, but I like his voice. I put Bounce at number 3 with Kelis. I put Awooga at number 4. And I
Mad.
put Slide at number 5.
Well, so we know that one person's got a wrong list. That was actually all right. And then I heard Awooga and I was like, no, please no.
Have wrong list. Music is subjective. What are you talking about?
Like,
So
let
is
me, do you want me
politics,
to
but
justify
Edwina
the
Curry's still a
reason?
cunt, so...
Rena Curry. Fuck off. Right. Do you want me to justify like my list? Because that
Yeah,
would
go on.
mostly help.
Let's hear it, and then we'll.
Pav's not convinced.
Because
I think
then
you're going to have to.
Start from 5. Start from 5
You
because I
might-
feel like that's going to be a bit more interesting. The top's not so much an issue.
Okay, Awooga I put at 5 purely, and if you know, with Awooga, the reason I did this was because that was his.
It's like his rebirth song, wasn't
I
it?
don't know. That was the song that sort of made him go from commercial pop Calvin Harris that was playing at the Jingle Bell Ball to, you know, I want to be a credible artist playing festivals and big clubs.
Yeah. So he actually released that song to break into America because no one knew that he was a singer. They hadn't heard of him. So they were like, oh, he's just a DJ. It's a lot easier. And he doesn't like singing live.
No, yeah. And he flat out says, I cannot sing, even though I'm known as a singer. That's Awooga's at 5. What did I put
So
at
that's
4?
not staying.
Slide. What, in the thing?
Wooga's
or?
getting kicked out straight away, mate. Let's be honest. But carry on. Carry on.
Yeah. But I'm just. Well, you said they've not got all big commercial hits.
Your list is absolutely wrong, but please continue for the next 10 minutes to explain it.
Look, I'm happy to have them rearranged, but these are like my 5. Cool. Slide because that was his first, I'd say, production that was released that wasn't a big EDM or big house track. I think I'm right when I say that. It features Frank Ocean. You try getting a Frank Ocean feature.
Just slightly less popular I am to him. But I could have got it.
Okay. What did I put at 3? What did I say for 3? Bounce. Yeah. Bounce, because that was the track that kicked off the 18 Months album.
Yeah,
Am I right
yeah,
on
you're
that?
correct.
18 Months album. And it was the one that broke Calvin Harris as Calvin Harris, the cool producer with Khalees. And it rebooted Khalees' career.
Oh, yeah. She had a
So-
rebirth after that, man.
Yeah, Feel So Close. I've got very great memories of that track. So, of playing it and just great memories of the track. I like his voice as well. I think he's made a track that suited his voice perfectly after saying I can't sing. So I think that's the thing. And I put I'm Alone at not number 1 because that is just an epic track. And I think that really shows what he wanted to do when he wasn't necessarily doing them things.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
That's maybe the vision for 18 months. Before 18 months. And it is obviously a very good track. That's my top 5 and you can pick it apart. But I'm open to
We'll work it.
everything.
I want to caveat this. I think all of our lists are going to be really, really different here now. Because I thought yours was going to be pretty... I was like going to guess your list pretty much. And then you went very, very south on me there. Chris, do you want to go in, mate? Let's hear your 5.
Pav, you go next, mate. You go next.
Oh, no,
It's okay.
I'm-
I feel like after what you said about Wade's list, I want to hear yours.
Oh,
now.
no.
yeah, even I want to... Pav, I
Oh,
want
you
to
know
hear
we're going to
yours.
hate my
Please.
list. That's why I'm saving this to the end. Chris,
Well, come on
Chris,
then.
you go. Nah,
No,
I'm
Pav,
hosting,
we're
mate. This
insisting
is
you're
my
going.
segment. You're next.
Wade's the host, so Wade decides that you're going next.
Right. Just, yeah.
Right,
This
do you want
is
me
your
to-
segment.
I'll tell you
This
what.
is
Do you want...
This is my podcast.
Chris,
No,
I will
I'm
rock,
joking.
paper, scissors you for who goes next.
Oh, God. Just do rock, paper, scissors really
rock, paper,
quick.
scissors, shoot, yeah? On shoot. Go on
Okay.
then.
Rock.
I will.
Yeah,
I will
Wait, you
do
judge.
the
Go on.
Okay.
vocal part.
One.
Okay, ready, Chris? We can't see your hand. Okay.
Go on.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, you go first, bitch.
Yeah, right. Cool,
Chris,
cool,
you're going
cool.
first.
Right, so number 5 on the list. Shout out to his newer stuff. I'm going to do Over Now. Calvin Harris featuring The Weeknd. The latest one. That's number 5.
This is getting mad.
Straight away, we're going in. Straight away,
It's
I
mad.
don't play around. We're going in. Okay, straight away.
You're telling me out of the top 5, out of every track he's made, you'd put that in your top
I
5?
told you how much I was feeling
Yo.
that track, and I'm still listening to that.
Well, thank you for listening
track
to
does
No
it for me.
Drinks in the Booth. This is actually the final episode
Did
before
you
we
see
break
the
up.
making of video on Instagram? That was.
I don't
vibes.
care about the making of video. Like, it's a great track, but I wouldn't put that in his top 5.
Oh, it's a great track. It's a great track. Here we go.
Well, that's wrong.
Okay,
That's
carry
wrong.
on.
Move on.
I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started, guys. Okay.
Oh, is there any chance we can sign Ollie Weeks instead?
He's unavailable, mate. He's unavailable.
He's unavailable.
He's not
Big
it.
shouts to Ollie Weeks, though. Number 4.
Please, 4.
Number 4. Flashback. Calvin Harris.
Oh, great song. I was really close to putting that in, you know.
Yep, that's number 4. Number 3. Bounce. Calvin Harris featuring Keyless.
Oh, we agree
Yeah,
on that.
yeah,
We've
number
both
3.
got that at 3.
Number 2. Calvin Harris. You used to hold me.
Yeah!
Absolute
Oh,
tune.
Come on,
Absolute
son.
tune.
Banger.
I know a lot of these are old, but yeah, he used to hold me. And number 1, Calvin Harris, I'm Not Alone. What a record.
So hang on, Chris, before you picked apart my top 5.
Oh, I didn't pick
we've
apart your
got
top
two-
5. Pav hated on your
Well,
top 5.
We
I
have
didn't pick apart.
two-
I didn't pick it apart.
hang on, and we have 2 tracks in our top 5s that are not only the same tracks in the same positions.
Oh my god, we're so alike. Oh, that's nice.
Oh my god,
Oh,
yeah.
And this is where Pav's going to be so wrong, and we're so
Oh,
right.
I'm
so we
so
can't say
up.
we're wrong.
Yeah,
anymore.
well-
The surprising thing is there is one that we all agree on.
I'm Not Alone, obviously.
Oh, mate, I couldn't turn it off. I couldn't turn it off.
Tune.
Nah. Okay, Pav, please tell us your top 5, starting 5
Okay, so-
upwards.
Mine's a bit weird as well. I thought
We're definitely
Oh,
not
no,
going to
no,
agree
no.
on.
You guys-
Well, me and Wade agree, as he just said, on like 2 or 3
Yeah.
tracks. So this is going to be
I
interesting.
honestly thought that our lists were going to be kind of similar, and then I heard like yours, Wade, and I was like, "This is going
Pav,
bad."
just straight in.
All
We
right.
want to know what
So
the tracks
number
are.
5, I went "Thinking About You," which was on the 18 Months
Ooh.
album.
Mm.
That's a really good track.
The problem is he just has so many good ones. So
It was very underrated, that track.
number 4, I went Calvin Harris featuring Alesso, "Under Control."
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Oh fucking hell! This is getting a bit okay. At number 3, I went "Acceptable in the 80s."
Is that worthy of the top 5? Really?
Oh, whoa,
I
hold
can
the
under- I
argument,
can
mate.
s-
We'll go. I'm ready.
I can see why it's in your top 5.
And then number 2, I went "Feel So Close."
Which was my number 2.
For
So I
the
agree
kind of
on
the
that.
same reasons, it's a song I have great memories of, and I feel like I just played it forever.
Yeah.
And number 1, I went "I'm Not Alone," but the 2009 remaster.
I was waiting for someone to say that, or the Camel Fat
Have you heard
remix.
the
like one of the
Have
two.
you heard the 2019 extended version?
Oh yeah.
Love
yeah.
it.
Yep.
Look, oddly enough, our top 5s aren't as different as what Pav.
It's because
made out.
we've all got
So
that
look,
one left
All
field
that
song
hate
in
on
there,
Wade's,
innit?
all that hate on Wade's, Pav. Shocking.
Yeah. So hang on. Let's build a top 5 collectively.
Well, number 1's "I'm Not Alone"
Because-
because we've all put it number 1.
Okay. Yeah, so we can all agree any version realistically, "I'm Not Alone" or "I'm Not Alone" the 2019 edit.
The
"I'm Not Alone" in
2009
general
edit
is
is
one.
literally just an extended edit. He just changes the drop and the verse over.
Yeah. So we can all agree "I'm Not Alone" is
Oh yeah,
number
100%.
1.
We agree.
Just such a good song.
Okay, so let's start from the bottom up, even though we've got our top first one, because I think it'd be easier to start at 5
Mhm,
going upwards. So I obviously put a Wooga, and I can understand why no one
I know
likes it
exactly
there.
why you put
But-
it in,
Yeah.
but there just is better songs.
Because if you look at
I feel like
If you look at my list-
A-Track and Zinc could have produced that track. I feel like that's why you put it in.
no, I put it in because that was the first time that when I heard that was the first time Calvin Harris got played on Radio 1's Dance. So Annie Mac or Pete Tong.
Yeah,
Other than that, he was on their daytime pop playlist. So
Yeah.
that for me was sort of the breaking point. But I understand.
But Chris, what did you
why.
put
If
number
you look at my
5?
list, there's
I put Calvin Harris featuring The Weeknd over now.
Okay, so yours is wrong. Let's just be honest.
Well, I mean, I think it's
Okay,
right,
let's
but-
take this to a vote.
I would-
Hands up. Okay, not hands up because this can be audio podcast as well. So we can't just do that. All right. All in favour of Calvin Harris featuring The Weeknd, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that's out.
Aye.
Do you-
Well, Christian,
okay.
that's that. That's
Okay,
gone.
It's
I would-
Awooga versus
I would
Thinking
put-
About You. And I just think personally, I think I completely understand why you put Awooga in, but Thinking About You is just a better record, isn't it?
But I wouldn't even put Thinking About You at 5. I'd put Slide at 5 most probably.
Okay, so now we're just going to have problems and this is just going to be hard.
Because realistically, you've got to look like Calvin Harris now isn't just producing
Okay,
big dance
but
hits.
let's work out, okay, how many songs do we have that are the... So number 1, I'm Not Alone. So then other songs that
Yeah.
we've all had, or two of us have, so we've had Feel So Close, we've had Bounce.
Yep.
Is that all the songs that we've had the same?
That's it. That's all the songs we've had
So
the same.
are we happy to proceed? And this is being way better. Top 3's kind of wrote itself here, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, so this would be my top 3, like trying to work it out with views, would be I'm Not Alone, Feel So Close, and then Bounce.
I'm happy
But
with that.
I wouldn't care I wouldn't mind if you swap 2 and 3, but that's how I would.
I think Bounce
have
has
it.
got to go 2 because that song is just legendary.
You put it at
that
3?
song sort of. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at my list now. Oh, I did put it at 3, but in terms of like... no.
He was just doing it. Sorry,
It's
guys, just to let you know, Chris was just doing that to fuck me off and 100% failed because he realised he didn't remember anything that he said.
But no. Our joint one between 3 of us, it should be 2. If we're looking at how highly
Yeah, but
we've all rated
me
Bounce.
and Wade both put Feel So Close at 2, so I think you're going to get outvoted there.
All right then.
Oh, look, I think the whole Feel So Close, Bounce argument, they're both off 18 months, which in terms of an album is phenomenal.
I think Feel So Close is a more complete record, but Bounce is a better dance record.
Bounce is the one that people know because it broke him, but Feel So Close.
I played
like,
Feel So Close
got
for like
played.
3 years straight, and it was just pop.
And the difference I think with Bounce and maybe Feel So Close, and you can agree or disagree, is Feel So Close transcended just dance. It was getting played on at Heart.
I mean,
and
it was
Magic.
number 1.
Like it, yeah. Look, I would rather have I'm Not Alone, Feel So Close, Bounce.
So-
That's how I'd
alright.
do it.
So that's been sorted. That was far more amicable than I thought it was going to be. But this 4 and 5 is getting on, boys. Let's go.
So
Well, I'd put
So we've
Slide
got
at
left
5.
now. We've got Slide, Awooga, Acceptable in the 80s.
You could look. We could chuck out a Wooga because that's never going in.
Okay, so we've got Slide, Acceptable in the 80s, Thinking About You, and Chris, what was your last one?
Over now,
Okay,
Calvin
so that's
Harris
no,
featuring
that's
The
a no.
Weeknd.
What did you put at number 4?
That's gone.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
okay.
gone.
So the other ones that I put that we've not talked about is Flashback.
No.
Flashback.
And You Used to Hold
Yeah.
Me.
I'd put Flashback at 4.
I prefer You Used to Hold Me to Flashback. And I would say just one thing on Slide. And when you talk about Calvin's greatest records, Slide is a great record.
It's not his
the
greatest
greatest
That's why I put it-
records. You know, artistically
But what would
great.
you-
But
But what would you put at? Let's say, okay, let's do 5. 5, I think we can all agree will be something that's not a big.
It's got to be
dance
acceptable
record.
in the 80s,
Just-
though, innit? 5, because I actually think Used to Hold Me might have to go 4. Because that was just outside my top 5.
But then I'd scrap Acceptable in the 80s and rather
Oh, but
Flashback.
Acceptable in the 80s was so good.
I'm trying to see, maybe this is big. I'm trying to have something that's old, middle ground, new.
Acceptable in the 80s, was a breakout song for...
Yeah, but even Calvin Harris hates that song.
That's great. It's great for him. That's not his. It's not his top 5. If Calvin Harris is here, I'd be like, "Oh, fair play, mate. I'll probably take your opinion on this one." But unfortunately, we don't have that kind of budget.
Joe, what
First
song that we
song
didn't
from
talk
the
about? but I
first
thought was-
album, mate. Does it get any better? Acceptable. That's the one. I feel like I did a bit of an
I
awooga
think
there.
it does, and Calvin Harris is
Yeah. So does Calvin Harris. He think it got a lot better. The one track that I had written down that we didn't include in anything, and you might not agree, was a remix he did, which was Scissor The Weeknd.
So it's not allowed.
The Funk
Wav remix.
I thought that was such a good song.
So there was actually two tunes that I had in my extended list that we've not spoken about. One, and I thought we were going to end up putting this number one, and I'm happy that we actually have a bit of better music taste. I'm very surprised no one said We Found Love, but I feel like it just got so overplayed that we all just fucking hate it now.
Yeah.
And was that him featuring Rihanna, or was that
It was
Rihanna
like a
featuring him?
half that was. It was
It
on
was just
both,
a
yeah,
joint collaboration.
it was a Rihanna X
What was-
Calvin Harris.
Quickly, Pav, what was your other track? Because if it's just say it, because I've got a point.
The other songs that, I had Ready for the Weekend on my extended list, which obviously no one's gonna fucking like, because except for the 80s got fucked off.
No, I like Ready for the Weekend. That was good.
But, I mean, basically, it was something from the first album, because I also really liked The Girls as well, which is an amazing song. I've been playing
was a
that
good
recently. The other one was Calvin Harris featuring Example Will Be Coming Back.
Well, I was going to say, have you noticed that our top fives don't actually have any, besides the Khalees track, which I think we can all agree that collaboration was most probably, it went bigger than what people thought it would in general. But obviously everything that come after it in terms of collaborations was like, oh, we can get Example, we can get Neo, we can get Tiny Temper, we could get Rihanna. Like, have you clocked that all of our tracks are sort of like pure Calvin Harris? Like, they don't feature anyone to hold the track.
Best.
Like, you don't need Rihanna. Like, he doesn't
It's that
need
thing.
Rihanna.
I like Grant again. He knows he's not a great singer, and he's not a great singer. He's not doing like fucking Beyonce runs, but his voice serves a purpose on the songs. He's got simple melodies, and then like that's when music's at its best, when it's simple. It's the reason why songs like Wonderwall have stood the test of time, because they're not that hard to make. People was like, oh, anyone could make them, and they're like, yeah, but that guy did.
Just one curveball before we finish the list. If this could qualify for the list, this would go straight in at number 2, and that would be.
Mostly don't qualify.
That would be no. I know it doesn't qualify.
If you
that's
say
why I
the
didn't
song that
mention
I'm thinking of, mate,
it's Dance With Me, Dizzy Rascal featuring Calvin Harris and Chromeo. That was the one. That would have been straight at number 2 if it was qualified.
I would want to put that in, but we obviously can't.
So the only problem that I had with that one, because that was actually on a Calvin Harris album as well, but then I searched it and he did that thing where, you know, when someone's got a popular song with someone else and they just chuck it on the album.
Didn't he produce it,
but he's
sung on it.
featuring, and then on his album as well it says Dizzy Rascal featuring Calvin Harris. They didn't switch it for his album.
We set the ground rules at the start. We have to stick to them.
Yeah, that's the only.
Okay, so realistically, we've got I'm Not Alone, Feel So Close, Bounce, and now we're just struggling for 4 and 5.
So the options are the options. I mean,
Flashback.
You used to hold me. Flashback.
You Used to Hold Me, I think, goes number 4, personally.
I think, Joe, it is. I heard that song so much, I hate it. Like, I would like it now, but it got played to, like, death.
Yeah, but not by us, so in at number 4.
No. Well, no, I did play it to death. I was DJing when it came out.
I was at secondary school.
Yeah, well, I'm old as shit, so...
But not as old as Edwina Curry. Fuck you.
My point was, I was going to say, I'm old, but not as old as Edwina Curry. She can fuck off. Right.
I love this. Wait, can we start a new segment where every week you just find one person to hate? Because I feel like this is way more fun.
No one will ever be as hated by me as Edwina Curry. But besides like maybe like obviously like some proper like bad people in life like Hitler, but
I'm just saying.
But I'm talking about alive right now, Edwina Curry.
If we're talking facts, Hitler's German regime had less unemployment than ours right now.
Oh,
silver linings and all that.
Right, let's get back to.
Well, this is taking a turn.
Yeah.
Back on track.
Yeah. Right. Let's get back to Calvin Harris. Right. So what we agreeing for 4? I would rather Flashback.
Yeah, I think Flashback. I actually love Used to Hold Me, but I think Flashback's more.
I didn't like Flashback as much. Like it was a forgettable song. It didn't make it into my shortlist. But I think
Nah,
I might
Flash-
have to concede it because I was banking on Chris saying You Used to Hold Me was going to get 4, and obviously that's not going to happen because he's backed Flashback. So we might have to go Flashback 4 and You Used to Hold Me 5.
I really don't like you used to hold me.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna throw a curveball here. I know we've already said our lists, but I'm just gonna add one more to.
If you
to
say
the
Summer,
pot.
we can just all fuck off.
No. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
That was an
I'm gonna go.
overplayed song. Fuck my life.
I'm gonna go number 5. We're gonna go with Flashback. I think number 5, Flashback, and number 4, I think Calvin Harris featuring Neo. Let's go.
Nah, leave it out. Fuck off.
No.
I think
Yeah,
that's underrated.
Yeah,
though.
no, it's not underrated. It was a good
Yeah,
song,
but
but,
no.
like that song got played so much, I scratched my CD.
And then
that says
everyone
it's
used
good.
to you, and then everyone bootlegged it and used the acapella for every other track. Like, do you know how many times I heard "Let's Go" on top of like Sandro Silva, epic? It's blown my head. I hate it. No, I
could think of maybe 5 songs that get in ahead of Let's Go. Genuinely.
I can think of every song.
I'm
that
just
gets
gonna be
in
quiet
Let's
for the.
Go.
I'm just
Okay,
gonna be quiet for the rest of the podcast. Okay.
so we've all agreed on our top 3. We literally need 4 and 5, which is really hard. I think Flashback should go in.
I
at
think
4.
I have to,
I think
I have to
Flashback
concede
4 used to hold
Flashback
me
at
5.
4 because Chris is backing Flashback at 4. So I'm just going to have to take the hit on that one.
I would take any of the first album tracks at 5. So, except to Win the 80s, Girls,
Ready for the
or-
Weekend.
Was it Ready for the Weekend? I would take any of them at 5.
I think Girls should go at 5.
Yeah, I didn't put Girls in because I thought I would have had a better chance of getting Acceptable in the 80s into the list.
Girls was my 6th. On my personal list, Girls
I've
was
been
6th.
I've been playing Girls a lot recently. In fairness, it's made a bit of a comeback.
I would take either Ready for the Weekend or Girls over Acceptable in the 80s.
I think Girls.
I will concede that because Girls is a bop, and it was also in my shortlist. I just had to pick a song from the first album, and I went, "Oh well, Acceptable in the
Okay.
80s came out first, so fuck it, let's go with that."
Right, so just to run through this list before we actually all agree, which doesn't
Start
happen
from 5.
often.
Let's start from
1.
5. We'll build it up.
Okay, 5
Yeah.
Girls,
Mm.
4 Flashback,
Mhm.
3 Bounce,
Mm.
2 Feel So Close, and 1 The Mighty I'm Not Alone.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'll accept that.
It's not bad.
If someone said you've got,
Back it.
you can only
With-
have
I think-
5
with the-
Calvin Harris songs forever. I would take them 5.
Yeah. With a special mention to Dance With Me, Dizzy Rascal.
Oh yeah,
featuring
like
Calvin Harris and Craig, yeah.
if
That's a
Dance With Me,
special
if Dance
mention.
With Me was eligible, it might even have made my top spot. Like it was pushing I'm Not
Mm.
Alone.
Realistically, Pav, you set these rules out which absolutely fuck this
Do you want
podcast.
me to, shall I be? Do
Because-
you want me to be completely honest here? Again, professionally
Go on.
stolen from Julia Denuga. These are called the Chucky rules because he made these rules up in the middle of an episode, and they just go with them. So I was like, oh fuck it, if we're gonna steal it, we might as well steal it properly.
Do you reckon we could throw together a top 5 without any rules? Quick. So we don't run over time.
Oh, without any rules. Oh,
No rules.
I think I'm Not Alone probably keeps first spot.
Mhm.
I would
Yeah.
say Dance With Me goes second.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
And then I think the rest of it kind of stays the same. Personally, I think everything just goes down one.
Yeah, I'd mostly put We Found Love in because you'd sort of have to. Like,
That wasn't
it's one of the-
that was a collab though. That wasn't a featuring. So that was eligible anyway. It's just none of us picked
yeah,
it.
well, I'd put.
I get what you
I'd put it in
mean
if we
because
didn't
it
have
like
rules.
yeah.
It literally broke about 4 million records.
So actually,
worldwide. Like, it was
when that song
ridiculous.
came out, he was on tour with Rihanna. He was warming up, and like it went number 1, and he was playing like London, and he was like, they were like, "Can you actually just perform it while I'm on stage?" And she was like, "Yeah." So she came out, did a song, walked off, and then came on for her actual set. So it might have to go in.
And that, I think We Found Love should definitely be a mention, if
And
not
then,
in the
so
list.
what about 4 and 5? So does Bounce go down to 4 then? And
Yeah.
then Flashback 5, because I don't think there's another Calvin
So we've got at 1, I'm Not Alone. At 2, Dance With Me. At 3, what's at 3?
We Found Love. Well, we can fuck that off if you
We
want.
Found
I
Love.
mean, it works for me either way. I'm just trying to find a tune that he's produced on that might make it into the list, but I can't think
We
of
Found
one.
Love's gotta be
Cheryl
number
Cole.
3.
Cheryl Cole, Say My Name. No, he did produce that and it did go number 1. Didn't he do a Rita Ora track, Never Let
Yeah,
You Down?
and then when he
That-
broke
that-
up with her, he banned her from performing. Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
I know.
That's a flex
'Cause
right
he-
there.
Because he wrote and produced the song,
and
so he had
it's
all the
like,
rights.
I didn't know, ever since he started releasing, he's always released stuff on his own label. Like he's been licensing to Columbia.
Yeah.
So he actually owned the right.
Fly
he
Eye
actually
Records.
owned the rights
Yeah.
to the song as well.
Flexing.
Yeah, imagine that. Okay, so
What's that tune?
don't know.
Sweet Nothing.
Oh,
yeah,
Florence
he's
and
got
the
two with
Machine.
Florence and he's got
Yes.
that one. And what's the other one? There's two.
Dunno.
There's two tunes. Say my
Say
name. Say my
it's
name.
Say
The
My Name.
feature. The Say My Name is a remix. You know,
What?
Say My Name. Flo. That's a
Yeah,
remix.
yeah. Oh, Sweet. Yeah, and then he's got Sweet
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nothing. I'd put Sweet Nothing. Well, I'd put either one of them in. And then did he remix a track by the Scissor Sisters?
Don't
That
don't
was
want
like-
to hear that.
No, you say that. It went number 1, I think. It was massive.
I mean, so did that Pork Pie song
Good.
at Christmas, mate.
No, but it was actually a good. Like, if you didn't know Scissor Sisters, you wouldn't.
Oh no, rate
know.
Scissor Sisters. I just can't imagine that Scissor Sisters and Calvin would be any good. So basically, what we've basically compiled here is a list of all the songs out of the ones we could pick. And what we did is we made a second list because we can't decide with one feature and 4 songs that he's the main artist on.
So
Oh no,
I-
I apologise. It was a remix called "Only the Horses," the Calvin Harris remix, but it was a banger.
I think this list is going to be number 1, I'm Not Alone. Number 2, Dance With
Yeah.
Me. Number 3, We Found Love. Number 4, Bounce. And number 5, what's that?
The Killers, When We Were Young, the Calvin Harris remix.
That's number 5. There you go.
I've not heard that, to be fair. I can't lie to you.
Missing out, mate.
I mean, this is getting a bit.
Or any of the Florence and the Machine stuff.
Yeah, I
he did.
mean, realistically, the guy's
I
got
think
about, what, 20 top songs?
most
Like, I'm
more.
understanding. Like, the guy is literally, from every album, there's at least 4 absolute top tier tunes. And that's playing it cool, like conservative. The guy is good. He's probably the GOAT of like UK dance of this generation. The guy is mega talented. Like, he plays all of his own instruments. He produces his stuff. He writes most of his stuff. He's wrote a lot of Taylor Swift stuff when they were going out. It's the reason why they broke up. Like, there's not much this guy can't do. Like, he's one of those artists. If you stuck him in a room, he would come out with a banger in a week. And you can't say that for many people.
Oh yeah. Look, I think the one thing we can determine from trying to do this list is that Calvin Harris is extremely versatile as well. You know, Chris picked the track with The Weeknd, the Over Now track. I picked Slide with Migos and Frank Ocean. Neither one of them are dance records. And they've done well. He had what was the other track with Pharrell? Oh, Feels with Pharrell
Feels
and
done
Katy
over
Perry
1 billion views.
with Big Sean. Like, I'm sorry, the guy can produce. Like, he is a producer in every sense of
He
the
can
word.
do anything. Like, if you just gave him a song, if you were like,
He's not
Calvin, can you make us a fucking rock song? He would make a banging rock song. He's just that guy.
Yeah, he's not a one trick pony. Definitely not. Okay, so should we just run through very quickly before we wrap up our top 5 list with all your rules? So, 1 is I'm Not Alone. 2 is Feel So Close. 3 is Bounce. 4 is Flashback. And 5 is Girls.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Everyone happy with that? I'm happy with that. I think there's not really much left to say besides our outro. Oh, let's just big up Calvin Harris for getting behind our industry and our sector. Calvin, We love your music, and thank you so much for supporting us during such a traumatic time with our government. Edwina Curry, fuck you. Okay.
Yeah, I was waiting for that, I'll be honest.
Yes, I was ready.
Okay, as always, hit like, share, subscribe with your friends. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and also please don't forget to check out our playlists on Spotify, No Drinks in the Booth, by No Drinks in the Booth, and equally our YouTube playlist. Please let us know if you agree with our Calvin Harris top 5 or don't. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, even though we hardly use the Twitter. Please hit us up and follow us, but definitely hit us up on the Instagram. From Chris, Pav, and myself, that is it. And I've got one more thing to say. Peace, and fuck you, Edwina Curry.